My wife threw divorce papers at me because she wants to be with my brother. Yeah, it's not because, well, she loves him. It's not because she loves me. It's because she found out he's more successful than I am, and she says I'm a bum. Well, you know what? I can't believe my family's supporting this, and there's one thing I have to say about it. Have you ever felt your whole life flashing right in front of your eyes just before it's about to hit rock bottom? The tiny moment where you assess all your life decisions and think about where you could have gone wrong, to have your life turn completely upside down. Well, that's what I'm feeling right now. Hey guys, I'm Ryan. I'm 35, I'm male. I'm working, and I'm going through a crazy life crisis. It feels like all I've ever had or worked for or valued in my entire life is getting snatched from me second by second. Basically, my wife of 2 years, Kylie, is dumping me for my brother. Yep, Jules. This sounds like putting my misery in very simple words, so let me explain the whole situation to you guys a bit better because it's insane. Me and Kylie got married 2 years back after only a few months of dating, as at the time it felt like the perfect thing to do. Now, when I think about it, it seems to be the biggest mistake of my life to rush into the marriage. But you can't blame me. I was a fool in love, and so was Kylie, or at least that's how it seemed. Everything was going perfectly. We were living with that dreamy little bubble, the newly wedded bubble. Yeah, until all of a sudden, just within a few months of our marriage, Kylie's behavior started to change. When I first met Kylie, she seemed to be a simple, down-to-earth gal, and that's why I liked about her so much, because she reflected my personality in a sense. I come from a rich business class family. I mean, not super rich, but we're rich, with a blooming family business. But I've never been arrogant of my background or all the money that we have, and that's why when I found Kylie, a woman who seemed to be as unbothered about my money as I was, I thought she was the one. Well, no sooner than we got married that all of it changed. Kylie was completely a new woman now, so much so that I could not recognize her anymore. Her simplicity was overtaken by extravagant items and crazy parties. It was like she drowned so deep into the glamour that money had to offer that she forgot her husband in the process. Naturally, we got distant because Kylie's newfound love for money. Well, guys, it frustrated me a lot, but as I was still trying to make it work because I believed that under the facade of the materialistic girl there was still that Kylie. The same Kylie that I fell in love with. Call me crazy and call me optimistic, but I don't think that, I did not assess this whole situation without a rose-tinted glasses. I also started to be doubtful of her, thinking whether how she acted initially was just a pretense to get married to me, or maybe that she was just after my money. Well, that time I was confused, but now if you ask me, I was absolutely right. I could not have been more wrong in judging her character initially, because now I know that woman was solely behind my money. How did I reach the strong conclusion, you ask? Well, it'll be clear to you by the time that I'm done with my story. So, things in our marriage got even worse with my brother, Jules. He came back from abroad after completing his professional degree. He not only overtook things from me at the home, but also at work. As soon as he came back, my father basically handed him a position right there equal to mine. The reason that he gave was that the professional degree Jules had really worked for in his favor. But if you ask me, Jules has always been the family's favorite. So his getting a position next to me without having to work hard for it, well, I've been working for 2 years before I got promoted to this position. It's no surprise to me. I wasn't even mad. If anything, I was happy that my brother finally had a direction to work. As you see, Jules had always been a troublesome kid, and as his older brother, I was always worried for him. So, seeing him finally trying to improve on himself and work towards something good only gave me a sense of satisfaction. But what made me so mad was how close he seemed to be getting to Kylie. Like, the two of them instantly became good friends, and while Kylie seemed to be bored when I took her out on dates, she seemed to enjoy Jules' company, as I'd often seen them chatting up on the dinner table and sharing inside jokes, and some of you might judge me for misreading a good friendship. But gosh, I was right to think that whatever was going on between them was more than just a goofy old good friendship. Yet one thing I could not understand.
was if Kylie was interested in Jules, then why would she still be with me, you see? Like, what was the reason for dragging on this marriage? But guys, as crazy as it does sound, I still hope for my marriage that I would be able to save it. Well, I guess being hopeful has its own cost, and all of my hopes regarding my marriage and my career was shattered 2 weeks back. So you see, my father was soon planning to retire from the family business, and he intended to find a person best suited for the role of CEO, who could handle the business efficiently. Since the last 1 year, I've been his best bet because I was the one who was handling all the business affairs underneath him, acting as his right-hand man even. See, my father was very dependent on me regarding the major decisions of the company, so you can't blame me for being hopeful that my father would name me the leader once he retired. Kylie has also seemed to think so nice, since I was the older child of the family. Well, this was one of the very few things related to me that excited her lately. She seemed genuinely happy for me and the direction this decision would go in my career. But the equation completely changed when Jules came back and started working in the company. See, 6 months ago, directly at the managerial level, the same as me, yet I was confident in my work and was pretty sure that I would be the CEO. So you can imagine my surprise when my father announced that Jules, his golden child, as the CEO. Of course he would. I mean, how could I have been stupid enough to think that he would choose me over his favorite kid? But in my father's defense, or as he claims, he gave both of us a, quote, fair chance, just to prove ourselves worthy of the position. I won't deny it. He did assign us both a project, and I worked hard at it. But I don't know how in the end my project got all messed up while Jules' project was perfect. It doesn't even matter because I think that even if mine was better, this fair chance thing was just a facade my father put up so that no one in the company would blame him for being prejudiced. I was miserable. This felt as betrayal, and I had put all this time, sweat, and tears for this company, and for what? For my brother to show up just 6 months ago and be rewarded for everything? My spirit was shattered, and I desperately needed somebody to confront me, just to give me a hand, so I could kneel on. So I turned to the only person I thought I could count on, the person who vowed to be there for me in all happy and all sad times, my wife. But guess what? She also abandoned me when I needed her the most. She said that she did not have the time to listen to my rantings, as she was busy with some urgent work. So I've been alone the past 2 weeks since my father made the announcement. Though I continued to go to work, I was done. I was doing all the half-hearted thinking. It didn't help my case that my brother, instead of being supportive of me and appreciating all my efforts put in for the company's sake, was instead fueled with his newfound power trip, which was just making him more arrogant than he already was. As a sibling, we always had a kind of distant relationship, speaking to each other only when necessary, but this major announcement had made us more distant. Amidst all this chaos unfolding in my life, one thing that did not add up for me was that, where was my wife, and why is she busy all this while when I needed her support the most? But I guess, soon enough, the answer would be crystal clear, wouldn't it? It all made sense when Kylie literally threw divorce papers in my face last night, telling me that she would be better off with my brother. Well, I was shocked, not because I didn't expect it. I expected her to divorce me a long time ago when I first noticed us losing that spark of a happy couple. But I didn't expect her to do this when I needed her the most. Well, that too, leaving me for my brother? That was what you call a low blow, ladies and gentlemen. So last night, Kylie finally let it out. She told me that she had started finding me boring in the earlier months of the marriage and stuff, and the only thing interesting about me was my money. She was hopeful that soon enough I'd have more of it when I became the CEO, as I was the eldest. Well, that was the only reason why she stuck with me for so long. As hurtful as this was, it didn't really shock me. What shocked me the most and made things worse for me was when my worst fears came true. So Kylie told me that Jules and she had been seeing each other behind my back for about 2 months now. She blabbered about how Jules is much more interesting and compassionate than me. Till now, she was conflicted about which is the right brother for her. But after Jules was announced the CEO, she just became sure that it's him that she should be with instead of me. I instantly left the house last night after Kylie's revelation and spent the night at a hotel. I just could not be in the house with all the pent-up anger and emotions in me. But as soon as I'm calm, I'm on my way back to the house to confront Jules as he's been avoiding all my calls. I'm writing this right now from the cab itself. The only funny thing about the whole situation is how delusional Kylie is. She thinks that she could just dump me for Jules and he would accept her with open arms. But little does she know that Jules is not a relationship sort of guy. See, the guy runs away from girls before they can even start to form the word commitment. So it'd be very interesting to watch. But that still doesn't help my situation, guys. I can't live in the same house with two people who literally have drained me so emotionally. I can't take it, but also I can't seem to let these two get away so easily after they've emotionally tortured me. But what I don't get is that, what can I even do? My whole life, it's nothing more than a mess right now. I don't know if I should make them suffer like they made me, or if I should just be the big person and just let it go and move on. I'm too confused right now. The dilemma is, what brought me here in the first place to you guys, and I just don't really like any advice or suggestions. My next course of action should be something I don't know. I desperately need some outsider's perspective on this and some advice of what I should do next. So guys, I'm begging you, can you please help me out? What's up, everybody? Mr. Reddito here. So today's story, I'm just going to let you know, has some very, very interesting updates. We're going to hop into update 1, but I just wanted to interrupt real quick and say, if you guys are new to the channel, consider subscribing because I drop a video every single day. And if you guys want to be a part of this, it would help support the channel a lot. Alright guys, let's jump into the first update. Update number 1. Hey, it's me again. It's been a few days since I found out that my wife had been cheating on me with my brother. That's right, and is now dumping me for him, guys. If you were thinking my situation is absolutely, chaotic? Yeah, then just wait because it gets so much messier. You won't just believe what all has happened in the past few days. But before that, let me talk about a few things that some people commented on my original post. Firstly, thank you to everybody for all the support that you've shown me, and your many suggestions, and now getting to the people who said I was stupid just to allow my marriage to get to this point. I'm doubtful if such people have ever been in love or if they've ever witnessed somebody in such a toxic relationship. You're not entirely wrong that I should have ended this a long time back. But guys, as crazy as it sounds, I still had hope. Being a fool in love that I was, even if I saw all the red flags, my heart still held on to Kylie that I met all the time back. The Kylie who actually cared about me and not just my money. So you can't really blame me for thinking of mending things and trying to make it work for the sake of a woman that I fell in love with. I agree it was my unfortunate luck that she was never that woman, and it was all a facade, but my heart was taking longer to accept this fact. So yeah, if you still think I was dumb to still let it go on, then I won't be wasting any further time for you. Now, getting to the point of what happened next. Remember I told you guys that my brother was not a relationship sort of person? Well, guess what? I was right. The moment I confronted Jules, his ignorance and arrogance faded and his emotions turned into a mix of shock and worry. Not because he was guilty of sleeping with his brother's wife, oh no, there's no guilt at all behind those eyes. If anything, he seemed proud to ruin the only good thing that he had left in my life. Well, he was worried because he just realized that Kylie was dumping me for him. So obviously Kylie wanted more than just the sleeping around part. And I'm quite certain that Jules is not the type of guy to offer her that. So saying that Jules freaked out at this revelation is an absolute understatement. He left the house suddenly and we could not get a hold of him. For days, until yesterday when Kylie dropped another bomb on us, which finally brought Jules rushing back home. Well, so, my wife not only cheated on me and my brother, but listen to this, she's also 1 month pregnant with his baby. Yeah, my wife pregnant with my brother's baby. This was the shocking news for me and the entire family, but the person who was most affected by this news was Jules. He just couldn't believe it, and oh, by the way, as some of you suggested, I took your advice and got my family involved in the whole thing. So, by then, they already knew what happened, and the crazy part was that instead of berating Jules for it, they all kinda teamed up against me, as if it was my fault that my wife cheated on me. Well, of course, how could they hold Jules responsible? But he was the golden kid after all. But before my family and I could reach any conclusions, we were met with this new situation at hand. So now instead of them thinking how Jules and Kylie should be dealt with as they betrayed me, they were rather concerned about how Jules should handle getting a woman pregnant outside of wedlock. Yeah, crazy enough, they seem to be missing the part of the woman being his brother's wife. I mean, what can I say? My family can act blissfully ignorant to save their favorite little child. And this is what has been making me mad the most. The family who was supposed to be my support in this hard time is the one mocking me and just making me feel more alone, not just by not being there for me, but by practicing this stupid injustice just because they prefer Jules over, well, me. I don't know how Jules is planning to tackle this whole thing. I don't even know if, well, he'll be taking responsibility for the baby or not. But one thing I do know is that I'm getting as far away as possible from this absolute toxic household. As soon as I can. I've already started looking for a new apartment so I can move out soon. Anyways, whatever happens, I'll keep you guys updated. Update number 2, a month later. Hey, it's been just a month since my last update, and guess what? Kylie and Jules, they're getting married. Yes, you heard it right, my brother is getting married to my wife, or soon-to-be ex-wife. We'll still have the divorce proceedings going on in court, and it's the only thing that's keeping Kylie and Jules from getting married sooner. They're planning to get married as soon as the divorce is finalized. So it turns out that even though my brother is not a relationship sort of guy, or even a family man, a little bit of pressure from my father and the threat of getting kicked out of the inheritance was enough to convince him to take responsibility for the baby, and also to accept Kylie as more than just a one-night thing. For those of you wondering why my father wants Jules to marry Kylie, the only reason, and this is for real, is his undying love for the business and his legacy. My father can't have an illegitimate baby scandal at the hands of the new CEO, so he'd do anything to keep this topic hush-hush and just make it look as natural as possible. Though I don't know who'll be saving Jules from the scandal of stealing his brother's wife. However, I still don't get how my parents can support Jules on this, but not me. I guess prejudice is stronger than the sense of justice for them. And it's just insane how they even heard my side of the story even once, and you know what? I told them about the whole thing. So, guys, okay, I get it that they're supporting Jules against me. I'm used to it by now. Considering that all my childhood that they've been unfairly supporting Jules, but I don't get how they're okay with accepting Kylie as their daughter-in-law. You know, we're talking about a woman who cheated on their other son. All of this insanity in my family is beyond my understanding or comprehension. But a very interesting thing happened last week. Everybody, well, but me, was outside the house as I was busy packing up my stuff. I finally found a good apartment and I'm ready to move out. Just then, a man showed up at my door asking for Kylie. And guess what that person claimed to be? Kylie's lover. Yeah, Kylie was not only two-timing me and Jules, but was also involved with this other man, Gerald. So guys, get this. It turns out that Gerald has been seeing Kylie for a few months now. I had a lot more questions for him, but the poor guy was so shocked to find out that Kylie had lied to him about marrying him when she divorced me and was marrying Jules instead. So he left in an absolute hurry. but did promise to meet me soon to answer all my questions and just left me his number. We've been talking lately, and he says that he might have some really important information for me that he can't disclose on the phone. So I'm going to meet him tomorrow for a coffee, just to see what information he wants to share with me. What if this guy has something that I can use against Kylie? I know I should not be placing my hope on the words of a stranger I just met a few days ago, but what's the harm in listening to what he has to offer? Am I right? Updates number 3. Hey guys, so I know it's been some days since my last update, right? And I'm sorry for leaving you hanging after the last one. I've been really busy with work and the court proceedings for my divorce, but I do have some good news for you and one very shocking one which might also be good for me. So, starting with the good news. I finally moved out of the toxic hellhole. The apartment I moved in is not as big as the house we were living in, but I'm thriving at the fact that it's free of villains of my life. So, you know what? I think it's amazing. Secondly, my divorce is going to be finalized soon. The proceedings at the court are still going on, and within a month or so, we'll have our final hearing. And the divorce will be finalized, and this also means that after about a month, my ex-wife will be marrying my brother. This brings me to my last and most shocking piece of news. You might say I saved the best for the last, so it turns out that Jules might not be the father of the baby that Kylie is carrying. As I told you in my last update, I was going to meet Gerald since he told me that he might have some useful information. So Gerald told me. He had talked to Kylie the moment she discovered her pregnancy. She was troubled by it because she was confused if it was my baby or Gerald's. So Gerald assured her that it's their baby. He's going to take full responsibility for it if it is, and he also suggested that she could divorce her husband and they could live together. But after that, Kylie went totally no contact and ghosted him. Well, the poor guy was heartbroken because he could not understand what he had done wrong. He tried a lot to reach out and talk to her, but just could not get a hold. This was the reason why she showed up at our house that day, just because he wanted to talk. Well, to me, it looks like all of this happened all at the same time when Jules was announced as the CEO. And that's when Kylie makes the decision that she would benefit more from being with Jules. So, get this, when Jules was hesitant to accept her as more than just a fling, this was her best move. Well, the baby could be anyone's. Jules, Gerald's, heck, even mine. I guess Kylie herself isn't sure who the father of the baby is, but when she saw the opportunity to use her pregnancy as a way to get Jules, she used it very, very strategically. And now this piece of information would be my best option and the revenge I'm seeking against those two cheaters. I'm just waiting for the perfect opportunity to expose Kylie. I won't just announce this piece of news plainly, but I'll make sure to create a whole scene out of it. A scene that'll be best suited for those two. I know I'm playing a big gamble and the baby might actually be Jules, but I guess I've got nothing to lose at the moment. Even if the baby is Jules, it's still a scandalous thing for Kylie to be tricking 3 guys at the same time. Well, call me cruel, but I'm pretty excited to watch all of this unfold. I mean, heck, I'm more than excited. I'm curious to see who the father of the baby is. What I'm planning might be totally insane, but I'll let you guys know if it works out or not. And I'll update you. Update number 4. Hey guys, it's me again, and I know it's been more than 2 months since my last update, and many of you wanted to know how my plan went. But let me promise you one thing. All this wait would be totally worth it, because what I'm about to tell you will sound totally insane, and I know it. So as I told you guys, I've been waiting for the perfect timing to expose Kylie for the 3-timing witch that she is. And what could be more perfect than Kylie and Jules' wedding? Yeah, that's the reason I'd kept this huge bomb of a news tucked right inside of me for 2 months, because I wanted to expose it on the day that was supposed to be the best day for them. And that's exactly what I did, guys. Well, yesterday, Jules and Kylie's wedding ceremony, and though Kylie tried her best to not invite me to the wedding, Jules took this as an opportunity just to rub it inside of my face. As you know, he was marrying my ex just 2 weeks after my divorce was over. He most probably thought I would be moping somewhere and wouldn't show up. Well, you know what? That's another reason why I have to show up with a bang. So, the marriage was supposed to be a simple affair held at my father's beach house, because that's the only place that they could arrange at such a short notice. Well, and by a simple affair, they meant there were hundreds of guests, family, and friends all over the country came. That's why this was the best time for me to execute the plan. So, just simply enough, I turned the whole wedding into a nightmare. Just as they were about to start their vows, I finally showed up with the best wedding present Kylie could ever think of. I brought Gerald with me. The look on Kylie's face was hilarious. It was like she had seen a ghost, and after that I finally broke the news that I've been dying to tell everything. Just like that. The whole wedding went chaotic when they heard that Jules might not be the father of the baby that Kylie was carrying. Jules and my parents were furious, especially my father, since he had invited some of his business friends to witness his golden child's wedding. I'd never seen Kylie so helpless. She was just desperately trying to convince my family that all of these allegations were false. Well, I'm not going to lie. It felt like Jules was even somewhat relieved that the baby was not his, and now he won't have to go through with the wedding. But he had to act surprised for the sake of my father, who looked like he just got a stroke. So finally, my father called off the whole thing and demanded a DNA test to be done to find out if the baby actually belonged to Jules or not. See, he would have entirely abandoned Kylie after all of this, but he had to keep his good man pretense on in front of all the business friends, so he tried to make it look like he was still giving a chance to the poor girl. All this mess unfolded yesterday, and now that's all left to be unveiled is the DNA test. The report will be out in, a week or so? And finally, it will reveal who the father of the baby actually is. Final update. Hold on to your seat. Hey guys, so it's been 7 months since all the mess unfolded in my father's beach house. I'm sorry for not having to write this earlier, but so much has happened in the last few months that I just couldn't find the time to write it. You'll soon find out what's kept me so engrossed and busy, but first let me address the elephant in the room. So, Jules is definitely not the father of Kylie's baby. It's Gerald. As soon as the report came, Jules and my father severed all ties with Kylie and kicked her to the curb. It turns out that after such a big betrayal and heartbreak, even Gerald was not ready to accept Kylie and the baby. This resulted in Kylie giving birth to a baby alone a few weeks back, and though Gerald does send money to Kylie as support, it's still not enough. Last I heard, she was living in some crappy trailer working 3 jobs to take care of the baby. How ironic is that woman who has always seen men as a means to money, and was even using 3 men at a time, is now working 3 jobs to make ends meet. I guess she herself made her bed and now she must go lie in it. See, Gerald moves on with his life and soon found another girl. I guess the man deserved that after all the things that Kylie made him go through. As for what, has been keeping me so busy lately, I'm the CEO of my family's business now. It's surprising, right? I mean, the whole wedding drama caused a huge scandal for my brother, and my father cannot handle any taint on the name of his company. So he asked my brother to step back so that I could replace him, and in spite of my brother's reluctance, I soon became the new CEO. And to keep the media shut and help the news die sooner, my father sent Jules back abroad where he's handling some new environmental project as a mere employee of the company. It's pitiable, really, how soon the tables will turn and, well guys, he went from the CEO of the company to a mere employee. Well, that's it. See ya.